Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special car. This is a 1991 British Racing Green, or BRG as they're known, NA Miata. This is number 2982 of 4000. They only made this color this 1 year, and then they did it again in 2001. But in the NA body style, they only made this color 1 year. So as we know, these cars were designed to be a competitor to the British MGs and British Roadsters. And lots of people back in the day wanted a car that had the color scheme and the feel of what their dad had driving around when they were kids, just with some reliability added in. This is a car that we built about a month ago, and we didn't do drivetrain stuff on it. It is the original motor with 79,000 miles on it, so it's an original 79,000 mile car. But it was basically bone stock when we got it, and we wanted to do a resto mod build on it in the flavor of some of those old British Roadsters. So the wheels, the interior trim, everything that we spec'd out for it was going along with that theme. And the owner also wanted us to have a little bit of creative freedom with it. So we did a couple of touches in there that were a bit of an experiment for us. And that's part of the fun of these cars, is you can try something. Try something until you find something that works. So we'll show you a piece of this car that we're probably going to be doing again in the future, because it was a trial run, an experiment on something new, and it didn't quite work out perfectly. So we're going to get a chance to go back and do it better. But we built this car as a show car and a cruiser. This is going on our cruise this year, which by the time this video is out may have already happened. So we're going to be taking this down south through the Smoky Mountains. The car is sitting on the Raceland red shocks, stock sway bar in the front, no sway bar in the back. A nice gentle street alignment on it, nothing too aggressive. It does handle, but it's built for comfort. Stock exhaust on the car currently. Right now there's a parts shortage, so you kind of got to do what you can do. We'd like to put a Racing Beat header on it, but they're about 6 months to a year backlogged right now, so there's not much we can do with that. The wheels, they're a 15 by 8 inky, I believe is how you pronounce the manufacturer of the wheels, with a bit of an offset. We wanted this nice deep chrome lip on them, and then we put it on some 205s Kumu tires. Something that was good in the water, good life, and quiet road noise. We're going for the quality of the ride on this build. Interior-wise, we did a full quilted leather interior. We have our subwoofer box with speakers, touchscreen radio with Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay. We did rev limiter gauges in it and a rev limiter HVAC panel, and put LED lights behind them. It pops, and I really like the way it looks. Did the 180 gauges, so the needles swing down. For a lot of people, especially myself, taller, my head is high enough that seeing the top of the gauges is tough. So having them swing down on the bottom puts the numbers I need to know where I can see them. We have a Momo wood steering wheel in there to match the Nardi shift knob. We have a Hard Dog Sport roll bar in here that we powder coated in satin black to match the trim that we put in. This car needed more work than we realized when we bought it. So we got this car, started digging into the history of it a little bit, and discovered that it was in a front-end collision way back in 1993. So when the car was just 2 years old, it had some sort of a front-end damage. The Carfax report doesn't tell us what happened, just that it was in an accident. And the whole front of the frame was very tweaked. There was stacks of shims to get the headlights to fit correctly. We gutted the engine bay down to nothing and straightened the frame as best we could and refitted the headlights. There's still some war wounds on it. It would take cutting out the whole front clip to make it perfect, and it's just not worth doing on a car like this. At this point, that's part of the car's history and its story. It was valuable enough back when the accident happened that they fixed the car and didn't total it, which says something about what it was back then, because looking at the damage, it probably should have been totaled at the time if it wasn't a special edition car. So that said, we're guessing that most of this car is the original paint, but the hood, bumper, and fenders must be replaced, because there's no way that they survived the damage that it had. So the British racing green cars are very popular and they do look phenomenal, but everyone typically does the same thing. BRG paint, gold or bronze accent colors. And we were trying to come up with a design that was different and unique and would pop a little bit more. So we did a bit of an experiment on the motor. Not all experiments turn out perfectly. I'm a little on the fence about how this one turned out. We went with a metal flake orangey red color for the engine, and we inverted the color scheme from what we normally do. Normally we do the motor in the black or the neutral color, and then we do the timing gears and some of the accent pieces in the highlight color. We tried flipping it around, and it's a discussion piece, we'll say. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm on the fence about it myself. I'd like to go back and try something again to see if I can make it a little bit cooler. All right, so let me walk you through this radio system that we got here. So if you come over here, we have 8-inch kicker subwoofers that are free air subs, so the passageway goes all the way through to the trunk, and we're using the whole trunk as the sub box. 2 6.5-inch 4-way Pioneer speakers there, and 2 more in each of the doors. Down here, inside of this box here, we have the USB cable, and you can plug your phone in and close the box, and it's nice and tidy out of the way. And then on this screen, you have Apple CarPlay, you have Bluetooth, GPS, everything you need there. So we're always asked, how does it sound? And there's no way to record it and put it on the internet to show how it sounds, so you kind of just got to take your word for it. But it's the best sound that I've heard come out of a convertible. With the top off of the car, you're kind of limited on what you can and can't do. There's wind noise, some of the frequencies do tend to leave, but with the subwoofers right behind the seat and these 2 speakers right next to your head, it's the best that I've seen so far. And we've sold about 200 of these systems, and we've yet to have a complaint. Everyone is just thrilled with how it sounds, and it does not consume any trunk space. So this is a very fun car. Very cool to be driving something and be put in mind of an older generation, and there's something really fun about driving that when you look around and see the wood steering wheel and everything. So let's go take it for a spin. All right, let's go for a drive. So this car has a depowered rack. So it's not a manual rack, it's a depowered rack. And I like them all different ways. I need like 10 Miatas to like one in each way. The road feel you get with the depowered rack is amazing. Nostalgia of how this interior is. I wasn't around in the 1970s or 80s. I've driven a couple of older MGs, but I don't know, something about this just feels cool. I feel like I need a pipe or something. I don't fit in this car terribly well. I'm a taller and a bit longer leg than the guy who owns it. This steering wheel is a bit large for my leg length, but it helps a lot since it does have the depowered rack. It is not at all an effort to steer, and the road feel and the dexterity is amazing. I probably would put a front sway bar on this car. It's a bit wallowy. I would not want to put stiffer shocks on it, but I would want to put a sway bar just to cure the body roll a little bit. That said, I'm being really nitpicky because it's quite good. And I am not a green and tan guy, but something about this car still is, I don't know, it's very cool. Like I don't really know why. Everyone wants to know how the stereo sounds, so we're going to try something that I'm pretty sure won't work. I'm going to hook my phone up. Bluetooth is on, so we are set. I'm going to hook my phone up and play some music. Let's see, what do we got in here that would be good? What about the Formula One theme? So I'm not dubbing this sound over. This is coming out of the stereo. I'm pulling all of the sound from these two microphones up here in the car. This one I put really close to my head. Probably can see it from one of these angles. So that's me talking. And I'm going to pull the sound from that one to show you how it sounds. We're going to get up to speed here. I'll do about 45-50 miles an hour in these curvies, and we'll crank the volume up. And I am not dubbing this over. No idea how this is going to turn out. But sitting here in real life right now, it sounds quite good. All right, here we go. Back to the car. As we said before, stock exhaust. So we'll get to that. Everything's always a work in progress, right? What a good interior does to a car. It just changes the whole experience of driving it. This is the same car it was when it rolled in. We didn't rebuild the motor, it's the same transmission, but sitting in it now compared to when it was stock, it's just, you feel so special. And there's just a certain joy from feeling special in a car. We buy Miatas because they're fun. We want to have fun with it. So make it yours and make it fun.